This is really bad news for Grand Theft Auto 6. Hey, how's it going, guys? Dalton here with another video on the YouTube channel, and in today's GTA 6 video, we're going to be diving into how this could be bad news for Grand Theft Auto 6. Having GTA 5 cut content could transfer over to Grand Theft Auto 6. That's right, this could probably mess with the biggest story of all time, with Grand Theft Auto 6 due to Rockstar Games probably making cut scenes and kind of cutting them out of the game, which means that they're not going to use them. And some of those scenes in the story mode where Lucia goes to jail, or there's a huge prison break, or even in the trailer kind of showing off that she's in prison, might actually be cut from the game, because Rockstar has done this in the past. And it makes me wonder, along with a lot of you as well on Twitter, this came from a Twitter thread and from TezFunds2 on the GTA forum site. We'll be diving that too in a minute, as GTA 5 had a cut scene where Trevor was actually supposed to be an IA agent, but it was cut, and that was supposed to be the best part of the game, that Trevor was actually an undercover IA agent, but took that out of the scene. So I imagine if Jason had a role to be a police officer or an undercover cop, it would have probably been scrapped, which the update would have been no more, and Jason would have just been a regular father to Jason and Lucia and the baby, or obviously the life of crime that they've lived and they gave up for the child of the game. So like I said, that's all we're going to be talking about today. We heard from Insider TezFunds2 on the GTA forum site saying why honestly this could be a big deal for Grand Theft Auto 6 due to GTA 5 having cut content in the past. So he went on to say, honestly, I never cared about GTA 5 single-player DLC that people had till this day and moaned about. I believe once a story is finished, they should let it in the characters be. Too much potential ruins the character's arc, and I'm all for DLC like the EFLC, VCS, and the LCS, and it gives you a new story and a new protagonist. I really hope that we get that in GTA 6. The thing about GTA 5 single-player DLC is that it's going to be based off of some scenarios for episodes I really weren't going to continue the storyline, with a realistic sequel except for the relationship pack and focused on Franklin and Tanisha. One episode is based on Rockstar's Cut Agent game, with Trevor working as an IAA agent, going to be a psychopath in the James Bond 007 agent. And of course, with that based on RDR2's Undead Nightmare, where the city experience and zombie apocalypse and time has slowed down to lengthen the days to empathize that the number of days you will survive, making it home to sleep. Aliens was a backup plan for the zombie episode. Rockstar may, however, take more serious approach towards the next content for GTA 6 if they have to plan some, instead of what if scenario type of episode content. But I couldn't mind having one along with the more serious tone, story-focused episode. So I agree with TezFunds2 there. They should really let the single-player story expansion be, as a lot of players were super excited to have that back in the day, where we could have gotten a story expansion which would expand the single-player game of Grand Theft Auto 5 has soon been cut. Rockstar Games decided not to do that, as it involved Trevor being an IAA agent, which that was scrapped. That would have been cool to see, though, seeing Trevor be an undercover IAA agent working for the feds and the other way around, hiding the secret from Trevor Franklin as well, and also secluded to have Franklin and Tanisha have a relationship together, as it didn't happen in the single-player story mode. As we know, she fell in love with a lawyer and a doctor that had billions of dollars and really loved Tanisha, which Franklin, as a Franklin, was very upset and said, what, I'm going to save money for you and your doctor. And of course, Tanisha said, do it for me, because Lamar was actually captured and set up by Stretch, which kind of gave Franklin the upper authority to just forget about Tanisha and move on in life. And as we know, in the GTA 5 online update that we've received, that Franklin actually is dating Tanisha and has kids now. So that is pretty cool. That story definitely took a twist, as you guys know, in the GTA 5 online update. So that's all we know so far about that, but the expansion could have definitely ruined the vibe of Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, that's kind of why we don't want to see a single player expansion, due to the things that already exist, due to the story that Rockstar Games already has. It would just kind of totally ruin the thing. Like, Undead Nightmare would probably ruin Red Dead Redemption 2. Not really, though, because it would be kind of cool to see zombies kind of running amok and seeing an expansion DLC to that. That would have been cool, and some other things like expansions as well. So if GTA 6 happens to get one, that could possibly ruin the huge big story for Grand Theft Auto 6. And that is why I think it's bad news, because if Rockstar starts cutting some of the GTA 6 content, I have a feeling that the story isn't going to be as great as we all think it is, because Rockstar Games could cut anything. They could cut the prison breakout. They could kind of cut the romantic relationship that Lucy and Jason had. That's kind of what I'm worried about. That's why I say it's kind of bad news for Grand Theft Auto 6 either way. Funds 2 also had a follow-up to that. Although I'm aware of the new organizational structures that seem very crunched like me, yeah, this isn't pointing a good picture at Rockstar Games and all their employees a few years ago, but the manager has strict on the matter over last year, which is why some devs left last year who raised some good arguments and presented objective data across more productively reasons. But the management has been stink on the following ahead with the regardless to those devs that left, and has already been affected informally 2 or 3 months ago, but becoming corporate-wide in April, which follows upon their last year policy that was increasing the office days over time, eventually reaching 5 days in the office with the year thrust here we are. I'm sure a whole lot of you guys know by now, we talked about it on the channel, that Rockstar Games have to go back to Rockstar headquarters and no longer work remotely from home. This is starting in April. We don't know exact date, but Funds 2 basically went on to say it could change Grand Theft Auto 6 too, if that happens to be, and Rockstar Games actually have to it could change GTA 6, sorry. It happens to be Rockstar Games kind of getting, kind of forced to get back in their office and pretty much finish the last production of Grand Theft Auto 6, which we know a lot of employees at Rockstar Games were not very thrilled about. Because having to go back to work when they're used to working from home, now they got to come back, work extra hours 5 days a week. Like I said, I know it sounds difficult in that way, but I'm sure a lot of you guys know what it's like to work 5 days a week and work extra hours, as I am not used to that, as I'm a home YouTuber, which I've been saying in previous videos. I'm just a person who makes videos on the platform and kind of works from home, so I'm pretty lucky and fortunate to have that as my job, as I keep saying. So a lot of people probably know exactly what Rockstar Games are going through, as I don't, so I'm not going to talk about that, but you guys can of course let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about that whole story. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. So I do understand that that could honestly make a delay for Grand Theft Auto 6, because Rockstar Games employees are not really thrilled to go back to the office and work on the game, but they are excited to get the final touches up. But that means they're going to be working even more hours, which is going to make even more time and just not enough time for their families and friends, which I do feel currently bad about, because that's not fair to Rockstar Games. But that's kind of where we are so far with Grand Theft Auto 6. We know that the final version is going to be done very, very soon. It's going to be coming in 2025. He went on to say the last thing he said, well, execs can be still execs, but blank corporate decisions and work conditions can still be better. They're not mentally exclusive, and the latter depends on a lot of the implement studio leadership rather than HQ. Yeah, by Rockstar, I really mean the excuse of not really the studio leaders or leads as much as the leadership is arguing with. Those will accelerate GTA 6 process. It also places them step away from the crunch instead of 2 steps you would have as WFH, essentially what Jason said. You already have Rockstar devs who already hired last year assume that the policy is remaining instinct, but it leads only to high hiccups to the change of them and firing him shortly afterwards. It would have been better if it wasn't ensured in the first place by communicating that was the lead, but instead you have the HQ execs damage and trust. So yep, I totally agree. The HQ should have not had any authority to fire an employee due for them standing up for themselves in this reason. So that was about a year ago that a Rockstar Games employee got fired for everything we just talked about in that segment, where we talked about him not wanting to show up and pretty much just him going against the standards of not getting to work from home anymore. He stood up to corporate, and that only led to him being fired. So it is kind of hard in Rockstar Games' perspective as Take-Two Interactive CEO, and we don't know who's really putting the heat and telling him, hey, you're going to you're going to come back to the office and not work from home. So I can understand that can be very stressful. But either way, that is exactly what's currently going on with Grand Theft Auto 6. That is why I think it's going to be bad news for the game. That kind of, if they're rushing this, the story might just be a little bit shorter. And also some of the cool scenes that we probably get to see are probably not going to exist in the final production. But of course, you guys can let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there, everything we discussed in this video today, how this could be bad news for Grand Theft Auto 6, how Rockstar Games are overly working themselves to get this game out here. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys did enjoy videos like this on the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily awesome videos such as GTA 6, Rockstar Games videos, and all the upcoming Red Dead Redemption 2 videos that I'll be doing on my channel. Subscribe for more of those. And of course, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Stay happy, healthy, and well, and I'll see you guys all later on the next video.